It's almost painful to watch. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest was asked a very simple question. Is the Taliban a terrorist organization or not? As usual, whenever the White House doesn't want to answer a question requiring a simple yes or no response, hilarity ensues. Listen to this exchange as Earnest tries to explain why Al-Qaeda is a terror group, but the Taliban is not.
Does the administration consider the Taliban a terrorist organization or not?
They do carry out tactics that are akin to terrorism, but those terror tactics have principally been focused on Afghanistan. That, however, is different than Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is a terrorist organization that has aspirations that extend beyond just the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that the Taliban engages in, quote, tactics akin to terrorism, but you don't actually consider them a terrorist group.
They have a different classification.
The day before, we learned even more about the Taliban from Deputy Press Secretary Eric Schultz.
The Taliban is an armed insurgency. ISIL is a terrorist group, so we don't make concessions to terrorist groups. We feel
the Taliban is a terrorist group?
I don't think that the Taliban is an armed insurgency.
So the Taliban isn't a terrorist group, it's an armed insurgency. Yeah, I rolled my eyes too. The Taliban has been in Afghanistan since 1994. Just where are these people surging in from is the question I would ask. Listening to these two try to justify the administration's position on what constitutes a terrorist is absurd. It once again shows not only complete incompetence, but also a lack of understanding of the Islamic threat. Just like the Holocaust, there is an extermination going on, this time of Christians. History is repeating itself right before our very eyes. But this foolish White House refuses to even properly identify the threat. Thanks for listening, and be sure to catch the weekly Ray Warner Show and subscribe on iTunes or at theraywarnershow.com.